Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Okay, let's be honest, you've barely been hanging on since we last spoke, but don't fear, I'm here now and I'm here to help. So lockdown has been a weird time. People have died, people have lost their jobs, their housing, people are stressed about the uncertainty of life in so many different respects. And yet somehow, self-improvement and hyperproductivity have become all the rage from lockdown day one, as if we needed more pressure. People were sharing their insane schedules online and sharing all the cool things they were accomplishing. And basically, if you went on their level, being productive 22 hours a day, you were trash. I know I'm not the only one who felt intimidated by how much others were doing, and I tried to do the same. I tried to mimic them, but that kind of lifestyle is almost impossible to maintain long term, especially if you're not doing it for the right reasons to begin with. So instead of trying to be productive for outside validation and sharing everything I was doing, even though I wasn't having the best time, I decided to do a few things for me. Things I enjoy doing that aren't pressurizing, but rather cathartic, and that genuinely make me feel like a better person. So without further ado, here are some of the things that I feel make one more of a wholesome person. Educate yourself on current affairs and important topics. I know the news can be overwhelming sometimes, so don't do this if it's going to negatively impact your mental health, but I find that keeping up to date with global news has been quite empowering. It can be really random stuff too. Like the other day I read like 5 articles on the Mars rover Perseverance for no particular reason other than I was just curious about the details. I often get so wrapped up in my own life that I don't really think to look outside of it. It's kind of grounding to remember there's a whole world out there. To add on to this point, I also try and identify any personal prejudices that I may hold and explore that. I do my best to try and educate myself on the matter and actively change my thought processes so that I no longer hold this prejudice. Follow accounts that aren't toxic for you. When you're on social media, you shouldn't feel like you're constantly comparing yourself to others or feeling guilty about your lifestyle. If there are people who you're following who make you feel like that, I beg of you, unfollow them. It's okay to do that. You're not rude for doing that. You're protecting your peace. For me, social media is something I use when I want to relax and zone out, see what's going on. That shouldn't be a stressful experience. To further prevent toxicity, restricting screen time, I bet you saw that one coming. Restricting screen time is also a really good idea. There are a ton of apps to help you do that. Social media isn't terrible. You can learn so much on there. You can find some really cool people, find a community that you really connect with that maybe you can't find in real life, find some really inspiring people. So it's not the worst thing in the world, and I feel like people often demonize it when it does have positive qualities. It's just important to remember, everything in moderation. Don't live passively, engage with your environment. This is gonna sound really stupid, but I had this epiphany the other day when I was walking along and I saw this piece of litter on the ground. There was a bin nearby, so I thought sure, why not? And I picked up the piece of litter and I put it in the bin. And that was when I had this conscious revelation, oh damn, I just changed my environment. I took control of a situation and now the street is better off because of it. And it felt really good. Now I'm not saying go litter picking for 10 hours a day to engage with your environment. Although if you did do that, it would be pretty cool. But this was just an example to reflect how sometimes we forget we can change things or make some kind of impact, but we really can. Even if it's something tiny where one may argue the action is pointless, it's still something. Don't just float through life, letting it happen to you. Sometimes it's really easy to just let that happen. Change things you want to change. Go do that laundry you've been putting off. Voice your opinion. Go litter picking. Do yoga or meditate or simply just sit and reflect on your day. These are all mindful practices that allow you to check in with yourself. During the day when life is super chaotic, I never really get the chance to do that, and I tend to lose touch with myself and my emotions and my feelings. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, I think it's a really valuable habit to get into. I've actually started writing my thoughts down, or fine, you got me. It's a journal entry, okay? I've become one of those people. I now have a journal. But if you don't want to do that, you can literally just sit and think for a bit. It's really calming, actually. I don't think you should be afraid of your feelings. In my mind, they're there to guide you as to what's going right in your life, what's going wrong in your life, and help you readjust things based on that. Get a random hobby of some kind. Nothing too strenuous or time consuming, but just something that's maintainable and can easily slot into your daily routine. For me, that's has been a couple things. For example, initially I was trying to learn how to do the Rubik's Cube, which I'm really happy to announce I can now complete in like a minute, which is super cool and something I never thought I'd be able to say. And following that, I bought some plants which have now become my children, and I tend to them regularly, either by watering them or cleaning their leaves, or just checking in and making sure they're happy and healthy if I don't actually need to do anything for them that day. It's literally just 10 minutes out of my day, but I find it so soothing and I love admiring them. They're so beautiful. Make the people in your life feel special and appreciated. So often we get distracted by our own problems and our own lives that we actually forget to check in and make sure the people we love are okay. Be it family, chosen family, friends, partners. They love and care for you so much, and you should express how much that support means to you by being there for them too. Let them know when you're thinking of them. Tell them that you're thankful for everything they've done for you, or how much you appreciate them, or write a cute little note. Just something to express your gratitude for them, because let's face it, life without them would kind of suck. This is probably my most difficult point, but practice being comfortable with yourself. I know that confidence doesn't come naturally to everyone, and it certainly didn't come naturally to me, but you don't have to love everything about yourself and think you're the most beautiful person alive to feel comfortable in your own body. This is kind of a who cares what people think mentality. It's a lot easier and better for my mental health to take this approach rather than changing everything I dislike about my appearance and myself to meet my mind standards. So to put this mindset into practice, wear whatever you want. If you want to show some skin or dress conservatively, do it. If you want to dance awkwardly to your favorite song, do it. If you want to dye your hair 5 shades of green, do it. I think it's helpful to remember that we're way more conscious and judgmental of ourselves than anyone else around us is. I would suggest you focus less on your appearance in the mirror and more on what your body can do for you, where it can take you, how cool it looks in certain outfits, how good it feels when you do certain things. It's pretty fucking cool. Also, a bit more on a cerebral level, I think it's really cool to spend some time with just yourself. So often we constantly are surrounding ourselves by people in all these like crazy busy situations, and so much interaction is going on that we never really, spend time with ourselves and appreciate ourselves and just have a good time hanging out with yourself. I think that's a really good way to learn a bit about who you are as a person and become a bit more self-reliant and independent, because in the end, like, you kind of I've said so many cheesy things in this video, but I was gonna say, in the end, you create your own happiness. Although it's really amazing to have all these cool people in your life and they definitely complement your life, you are like the ultimate like main character. So it's up to you to make yourself happy. Okay, I'm done. I've said all I wanted to in this video. I've cringed at myself about 50 times. I'm sure you feel more wholesome just hearing about this stuff. But yeah, I'd highly recommend you try out some of these ideas. You don't have to take them all on board. Feel free to cherry pick whichever one suits your lifestyle best or most appeals to you. Also, please feel free to share your own. This is a non-exhaustive list, and these are just a few things that I feel can make one a more wholesome person. There is obviously so much more. Anyway, have a lovely day or evening or afternoon or life, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.